Alright, welcome to our second practice game for our upcoming league in our game store. This is THB Batrep Gaming, and here we are with another game for Wood Elves versus Dark Elves. We're doing a lot of these practice games lately because the tournament's very close. You'll be seeing some actual tournament games coming up and seeing our armies grow as we go. So, here we go, and you're about to see why I play Dark Elves so much, because I need as much practice as I can get. Such a competitive army, and playing Wood Elves, Eternal Guard, they're a struggle. So here's my army. From the left to right, you have my Eternal Guard on my left, about to enter the forest. You have my Glade Guard, deciding what they want to do, usually about to enter the forest. You have the Wildwood Rangers going into the forest because it causes fear, so that's kind of a nice little trick I have to do so I can double their attacks. It gives me a lot of fighting capability. And then a unit of archers behind them, because he has a bolt thrower you're about to see, and I like using my own units as protection for my archers because I don't like my archers dying because they're just as expensive as some other elite units. Here's my opponent. Going from left to right, you have 5 Doomfire Warlocks. They are fantastic. You have 20 Corsairs with a hero inside, and you have a Repeater Crossbow. He likes to play big blocks and big Death Stars, so it kind of shows in his lists even as you get to the lower points. That big block of Corsairs is a tough nut to crack, especially at 500 points. And when you're doing no magic lists, and your opponent brings a quote-unquote no magic list with a little bit of a twist, I guess you can say, the Doomfires work. So here's the Doomfires vanguarding up, about to show their prowess. Their fast cavalry rule allows them to do this. And in about a week, you'll see all of our armies fully painted for your viewing pleasure. We're playing on one of these tableware game mats. I've really begun to like them because they're so easy to slide around on. And the movement trays, I mean, there should be no problem catching on that awkward rock or something like that. And the terrain fits pretty well if you can use the right kind of basing. So here's the Doomfires, Corsairs not moving, and the Repeater. Here's my army on turn 1, because I won first turn. I march all my melee units in the front of the forest, and I kind of realize a mistake in my archers' movements. I'm thinking that I'd be able to kill a bunch of these Doomfire Warlocks with my shooting, but as you can see, there's one laying down. I only killed one, which was really surprising. Yeah, from 10 shots with True Flight, usually I get about 4 wounds, but he rolled amazing for his ward saves, can't fault him for rolling. It's kind of Warhammer. So, here's a picture of him getting shot down. You're about to see why Doomfire has really caused me a little bit of trouble. They're high weapon skill, they have 2 attacks apiece with poison, so they're basically riding, they have Elven Steeds really fast. But not only that, but they have some really good killing capability because they're strength 4, which is still better than almost any Wood Elf unit. And they have an amazing ward save, so just when you thought that they were really weak fast cavalry, they have a 4-up ward save just to really back it up. So he charges, sorry for the vertical picture, but he charges his Doomfire Warlocks into my archers. I stand and shoot, and I kill 1, which is not expected. I usually kill at least 2, but hey, you can't fault him for good rolling. He makes it in, passes his dangerous terrain as he passes through my forest, and this is a problem for me, because this is 75 points of Glade Guard, which is a pretty good section of my core unit, and they're probably going to get wrecked. I mean, let's face it, Doomfires, am I right? So, his Repeater Bolt Thrower fires at my Eternal Guard, and he only plinks off 1, which is kind of a blessing. I mean, my armor disappears because of the armor-piercing strength 4. I mean, I'm starting to really realize why my opponents hate my shooting so much, because just when you think you have an armor save, the armor-piercing kicks in. Oh, it's great. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm slowly working down painting them. My hero's in the front of that unit, as it was kind of hard to see in the first deployment picture. And they're kind of waiting it out to see if those Corsairs get any weaker. And they're not going to, because I kill 1 Doomfire Warlock with my melee attacks, which was great. But he demolishes the entire unit, because we strike simultaneously, and 6 attacks with poison and weapon skill 5, he's bound to kill a bunch of them. I think he left 1, but his 2 horses, one of them hit and one of them wounded. And even though it looks like all those Glade Guard are wearing such great and wonderful armor, no, nope, nope, nope. Not wearing armor, because Wood Elves, why would I ever try it on? It's too big anyway. And he overruns, and this is where I realized my foolish mistake. He overruns straight into my other archer unit, which was, oh, that was terrible. So this is going to be like 150 points in my army straight off the field at turn 1. Not exactly what a Wood Elf player wants to see. I mean, this is my range force, is what makes Wood Elves so good. And I just played the movement phase completely incorrectly. I thought these Doomfires would be able to be at least killable when they got down to 2, but they still have some good punch to them, even down at 2 numbers. So he comes in, and I'm getting really worried that the back line of my archers are going to fall. So I have nothing to do on my turn, so we just go straight into combat, because movement phase is almost pitiful right now, because he's got me kind of trapped down in my forest. And combat goes like this: kills 3, I think 1 horse even plunks 1, 2 warlocks kill 2, I get away, he overruns. So this skips all the way to his next turn, because I'm being foolish and just wasting away my movement phases, I think. And he throws another 6 shots, and he whiffs kind of, and only kills another 1 Eternal Guard. I'm not arguing. And he chases my guys off the side of the board, which is kind of sad, because there's 150 points of archers straight off the game. It certainly is not what you want to see as a Wood Elf player, to see your archers dead on turn, I think this is turn 4, or turn 3, turn 3. So this is when I decide to make a pretty solid move in my Wildwood Rangers. I want to get them over to someplace safe, so I march them way over to the right, because I'm going to target his bolt thrower with them, because if I can't win any of his big units, I might as well take out the ones I can afford. You know, because Wildwood Rangers. Doomfire Warlocks come back on his turn, and they take a movement of 9, because they're fast cavalry, so they can move the turn they come back on the board. Oh, I love Doomfire Warlocks. If I ever played Elven Legions, which I won't, because, I mean, everybody knows why, because they're so good. Yep. So here's my Wildwood Rangers getting shot up again. So he whiffs really bad. He rolls amazing for his hitting. He hits 5 out of 6 times, and then he rolls a 1, a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 3, and only kills 1 of my Wildwood Rangers, which is great, because that gives me another chance to charge. So I charge my Eternal Guard into his Corsairs. I completely roll failure. I think I roll a 1 and a 3, and my Wildwood Rangers charge needing to roll an 8, and I roll a 2 and a 5. Yep, that's kind of the story of my Wood Elf combat. So going on to his turn, he decides to charge me, but he rolls just as badly as I do. He rolls like a 1 and a 2, and the Doomfires don't charge. They just kind of trundle up to get ready for magic because, well, Doomfires have magic too, and not only that, they have amazing magic. So his shooting phase actually does a lot better this turn. He takes out 3 Wildwood Rangers, which is a little bit sad, but they can still do just as much punch with only 6 of them left, because they still have that banner. This is the one thing I love about Wildwood Rangers, is that at low points, Strength 5 can actually come in handy. Lots of people rant that they don't have 2 attacks like Swordmasters, or they don't have heavy armor, but when you get down to it, anything that they fight is usually going to have something like Strength 4 or Strength 5, so that armor is going to become kind of worthless anyway. So I charge his Bolt Thrower, and I promptly destroy it. I think I do 4 wounds to it. I roll way above average, but not without taking 1 casualty, because he has always strikes first, and my rules cancel out. So the battlefield is kind of looking like this. The Wood Elves have 5 Wildwood Rangers in the rear, which is helping out the back ranks. But that Corsair unit, they're impossible to kill. I just have nothing to fight them right now. I need to get I need my shooting phase to be active. So here's a picture of the overall battlefield. As you can see, it's not looking very good for me. But, you know, this is on his movement phase, so at least my Wildwood Rangers get to turn around. I get a chance to at least not get charged in the rear. So that's what I do. I turn around just in case the Corsairs get frisky, or those Doomfire Warlocks decide that they want to give me a charge. I think the best thing about them is, even if I do get charged by them, I'm hoping for him either to whiff or just to kill 1 or 2. So he fails another charge at my Spearman, which is awesome, because this is top of turn 5, bottom of turn 5. So now all I have to do is back away a little bit, and I think I'll be safe from him. And he decides to charge me, which is really surprising actually. So he takes his Doomfires into me, and I'm getting really worried, because I saw what these guys did to my archers. I mean, 3 of them killed a unit of 5, which was good. 2 of them killed a unit of 5, which was great. And now they're back for more. And the worst part is these guys get to go first. So I'm hoping that he whiffs, or if he doesn't whiff, just kills 1 or 2. And then maybe I can attack back with 3, roll decent. So this is kind of ironic. He comes in with high hopes to destroy the whole unit. He completely whiffs. He rolls, like, for his hitting phase, because I'm weapon skill 5 also. He rolls a bunch of 1s and 3s and doesn't get to reroll because we both have always strikes first. And then the second worst part is I pick up my 5 days. I hit once and I roll a 1 to wound. So I don't think we played a bottom of 6 because we saw where the game was going, and we decided that those 2 units wouldn't have really gone anywhere. So this is the end of the game. This is the Dark Elf army remaining on the field. Big block of Corsairs, his hero, and his Doomfire Warlocks. I really like my opponent's list. I think he's going to keep something like this. He's going with more of a ocean theme, I guess you can say. And the Doomfire Warlocks really provide a really hard-hitting unit at 500 points. I love them. And this is the remainder of the Wood Elf army. My Eternal Guard didn't see any combat but this game, but the Wildwood Rangers, I'm really impressed. I mean, they may have only killed a Bolt Thrower, but they kind of put a bubble of fear into my opponent, because Strength 5 at this point value, no matter how many attacks you get at me, if a few of them live, they're going to punch pretty hard back. And if I can just get him to charge me in my forest in some way, one of my favorite things to do is to use my Eternal Guard as a stubborn block and then hit them in the flank with the Wildwood Rangers, and that usually spells the end of whoever's playing me. So in the end, we tallied it up. It was just about a draw. I think the Dark Elves were ahead by, 50 points. So here's our two generals. Bad picture. So here's the overview of the game. So I look back on the game and I look at my mistakes, and it's all in the movement phase of my archers. So I need to realize that I've got True Flight, but that doesn't mean I can still use that 30-inch range to my advantage. Those Doomfire Warlocks are hard to dodge, but I bet I could still get 1 or 2 extra shooting phases in. So, Doomfire Warlocks, you've heard me talk about them all through this battle report, but they are unbelievable. 2 attacks apiece, weapon skill 5, initiative who cares, and they're elven steeds, so just in case they don't do enough damage on their own, their steeds might even plunk off 1 or 2 guys for themselves, which happened a lot in this game. And then Wildwood Rangers, in the practice games that I have played, they've almost never failed me. They'll usually lose about half or just above that of their number, but they usually kill just enough back to where they overrun the unit and kill it. So my next objective is to figure out how to crack that Corsair block, and I'm figuring it's going to have to be shot up and then double charged from my combat units. That's my only hope, really. So thanks for watching. This is our second battle report, our second practice game. Hopefully this next game will be against an undead unit or some Warriors of Chaos, maybe some High Elves, so it's not just Wood Elves versus Dark Elves the entire time. Comment below so I'm not just talking to a screen, because talking to people is much more enjoyable. And I hope you enjoy the battle reports. They're pretty short, pretty nice to paint to, watch, party, whatever you guys do with battle reports. I enjoy watching them while I paint. It's kind of what I do. So a lot of these 500-point battle reports will be coming up in the next few days, few weeks, and they'll start growing to 750 and 1,000, and hopefully that'll lead into much more exciting battle reports. And thanks for watching. Get hammered.